I have a goal to ensure that every single monotype hardcore Nuzlocke in every mainline Pokemon game is completed on YouTube. Now, how do we accomplish that? Through this spreadsheet. Every game has been accounted for, heck, some are already finished, but some are criminally underrepresented. I, Chaotic Meatball, am here to fix that. There's still dozens of runs on here, so let's tackle a short one from Gen 1, Pokemon Yellow using only fire types. We're only looking at 6 encounters for this run, those being Charmander, Vulpix, Flareon, Ponyta, Growlithe, and Moltres. Unfortunately, no Magmar access here as it's red exclusive, so I'm gonna have to be very particular about my strategies to get through, not to mention Moltres isn't available until the Elite Four, so I'm running an incomplete party for all but 5 fights, so I'm in for a heck of a rough time. But I want to get into this, so make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and check out the spreadsheet in the description to give me suggestions on what Nuzlockes you want to see me do that haven't been done yet. All of them are going to be done at some point, but I'm curious if people think that some of them are more intriguing than others. But with that, let's begin. So first things first, the starter choice really isn't a choice, it's Pikachu, but with the Universal Pokemon Randomizer, I made sure to change my starter to the first available fire-type encounter, that being Charmander right before Misty. That way we can play through the entire game with fire types and see if it's even remotely possible. I'm kinda terrified since Metal Claw isn't a move in Gen 1, so I'm not sure what I'm gonna be hitting Brock with, let alone Misty, but I think I have some inconsistent strats that can work if I just bash my head in enough times, so let's see how it goes. The starter fight does not go well, as the stab normal type attacks are too much and Charmander goes down. But thankfully, the Nuzlocke doesn't start until we get Pokeballs, so that's great. But by losing this fight, our rival is now locked into having Vaporeon as his starter evolution, as I'm not doing the fight on Route 22, so that's another hurdle I'm gonna have to jump over for this run. There's a little bit of a bonus to losing this fight though, no EXP gained. That means we can head up onto Route 1 and just continuously KO level 2 Pidgeys to gain stat experience. I've explained this before in previous videos, but as a brief summary, stat experience is the progenitor of EVs, with 65,535 points being able to be dedicated to each stat, and those points are added based on the base stats of the Pokemon. So Pidgey yields 40 HP, 45 attack, 40 defense, 35 special, and 56 speed, no matter what level it is. So by KOing level 2 Pidgeys, we're repeatedly getting 15 EXP for each set of those points, giving us as much advantage as humanly possible before Brock. Also, there's only one required trainer before that fight as well, so there's plenty of room for stat experience training. After getting to level 11, I'm good to give the parcel to Professor Oak and head up through Viridian Forest to take out the required bug catcher, burning his bug to a crisp before topping my stat experience off, and heading into the face-off against Brock. He leads Geodude, and I just go for Ember, getting a crit on the first turn for around 40% as he goes for Tackle, and I just keep going for it. Of course, Stab and Special Damage is going to do a lot more than Tackle as both are resisted, but Ember of course has all of those bonuses. So I just keep barraging hoping for a burn, but I don't get it. Thankfully though, only 3 tackles connect for 15 damage total before I get the KO, leaving me with 21 HP going into Onix. This also doesn't have a rock-type attack, but he does have access to Screech, Tackle, and Bide, so I'm hoping to just get a bunch of Bides and growl him to death, using Ember and outspeeding on turns after Bide to evade damage, and thanks to that sound strategy, Brock only manages to clear 1 tackle on Charmander before I get the KO and the win, putting down the first of the 2 hardest gym leaders in this challenge. He also gives me the TM for Bide, which is literally my only out to Misty Starmie based on my testing for this run, so pray for good RNG because we need exactly 1 outcome. There is only 1 physical outcome that works here over the course of 3 turns, and that's only given if Staryu gets an X defend and doesn't manage to attack. At least beforehand, I get access to the evolution Charmeleon, with a bit more in terms of base stats, but it's not too much more. The level cap isn't as much of a problem here as well as it would be in Red and Blue with only 1 encounter, as Lieutenant Surge's is much higher at 28 rather than the 24 in the previous versions. But that still doesn't give me much wiggle room before Misty, so I've got to ensure I have the proper levels for the rival fight, getting as much stat experience as possible before hopping the ledges on Route 4, as I'll lose access to those level 2 Pidgeys until I get cut, which won't be until after the SSN departs. With that said, after clearing through most of Mount Moon, the end of the area contains a Jesse and James fight leading Ekans as I burn it down with 2 embers, taking only a single poison sting with no poisoning thankfully. Meowth's out next and goes down to the same following a scratch, but Coughing takes 3 of them, only having Smog as a stab attack unfortunately doesn't poison until the last turn of the fight, making it easily healable with an antidote after the battle ends. Now I think level 18 is more than enough to take on my rival, so I hop down the ledges and into Cerulean City, taking him on straight away. Fun fact, Mr. Rival Poof here is very lame. You know why? Well, it's because he didn't use code ChaoticMeat at checkout to get 10% off his gamer subs. How could a pitiful soy jack like him ever hope to enjoy wonderful flavors like anime girl thigh or good? It's pretty good. My personal favorites are pineapple cocktail and titty milk, all of which you can get in both caffeine and caffeine-free varieties, and are all keto-friendly to help keep your calories down. I've been drinking this stuff for years before I got my own code, so take it from me, the Chad Meatball, it's damn good. Anyway, he leads with Spearow while I go with Ember, doing half damage as Peck does 9 damage, but the second Ember doesn't get the high roll. Gotta love ranges here at House Meatball, as a second Peck connects, bringing Charmeleon down to 39 HP. That's fine though, a third Ember roasts the bird at a nice lunch meat, as Sandshrew enters second, going down to a critical Ember thanks to its paper-thin special defense. Third is Rattata, managing to survive an Ember on about a quarter of its HP as Hyper Fang connects, taking me down to half HP as Quick Attack follows up, leaving Charmeleon at only a sliver over a third, all while Ember gets the KO, leaving just Eevee. Now the stab normal attacks do pose a threat at this low of HP, but is kind of oblivious to Charmeleon's HP and just keeps going for Sand Attack, hitting one as Ember connects, missing another as a second Ember connects, with a third thankfully still connecting as a second Sand Attack makes it through. And here comes the Mist Train. I've got enough HP to survive 2 tackles, taking 1 and missing, but he goes back to using Sand Attack, and despite hitting 3 of them, -3 accuracy isn't enough to make Ember miss much more as a 4th blast connects, KOing Eevee and winning me the fight. Perfect. Now for the last fight before we get into the actual game and not the RNG fest. After getting to level 21 and edging up to level 22 from the trainers on Route 24, I'm more than prepared to fight Misty. This will hopefully give me a slight edge as Staryu's KO will now bring Charmeleon to level 22, and seeing as the level cap is only into effect until the start of the battle, it should be just a little bit of enough of a stat boost heading into Starmie to help make sure I stay alive. She leads with said Staryu and... well, shoot, there's no X-Defend. But the other good outcome actually happens here with a critical hit Mega Punch, one-shotting it, leaving just Starmie, all while Charmeleon remains at full HP. So the 3-turn combo we need here is X-Defend, Water Gun, and Water Gun, otherwise we lose. If Starmie connects Bubble Beam, we lose because it does over half. If she goes for Tackle, we lose because we don't take enough damage for Bide to KO. It literally needs to be these exact turns. Turn 1 is perfect, here's the X-Defend as I use Bide. Turn 2 thankfully results in Water Gun, doing a little less than half. And turn 3, is another Water Gun, bringing Charmeleon to just 14 HP and let me blast out that Bide for more than enough damage to KO, winning the fight on the first try. I swear I have the best RNG in the world for fights like this, but if a range is involved, I'm royally screwed. Back to round 24 and 25 we go to get the SS ticket, whacking the Rocket Grunt with the TM for Dig, which will be mighty nice against Lieutenant Surge's Big Bag Raichu, then hopping aboard the ferry to grab the TM for Body Slam before taking on my rival once again. He leads Spearow, and it isn't really much of a problem as it was the last time, as Ember now does 75% instead of, 50 and then miss a range, and Leer doesn't even connect, letting me KO for free as Rattata enters second, going down to a critical Ember following a light quick attack. Third up is Sandshrew, again going down to a critical Ember, leaving just Eevee. Now, we're at more than enough HP to get into an accuracy war here, though my first Ember manages to do almost half damage and get the burn, having Eevee's attack so the stab normal moves don't hurt as much, and helping to mitigate the misses from Sand Attack. Fortunately, we don't even need to worry about it though, as after only one Sand Attack, I'm able to follow up with the third critical Ember of the fight, KOing and winning the battle before obtaining Cut and heading straight into Lieutenant Surge's gym. I'm not even really going to screw around here. I'm not going to the level cap. I want to get this done at level 26 so that I can later go back to Route 1 to get that stat experience because it's just so lovely, it's just so helpful. I'm just a sucker for stat experience in Gens 1 and 2. With Dig, this isn't even a problem though, as we get hit with a Growl, which still doesn't make Dig less than a 2-shot. Then a critical Mega Kick brings Charmeleon down to 11 HP before the second Dig connects, KOing Raichu and winning me the fight. Can't complain about that. Even a crit can't keep my underleveled bum out of the game. With the Thunder Badge in hand, I'm finally able to proceed into the section with my next encounters. Of course, after clearing through Route 9, Rock Tunnel, Route 10, Lavender Town, and Route 8 first. No problems in regards to the level cap there, which is now at 32, and a little bit of a reason why I kept Charmeleon at level 26, since I didn't want to test the game and accidentally go over before reaching Celadon City. And it looks like it was a wise decision, since Charmeleon was already at level 31 before arriving. No difficulties in getting there, however, and this allows for 2 new encounters. Eevee from the top of the Celadon Condominiums building, evolving straight into Flareon with a Firestone, and Vulpix from the game corner for 1,000 coins. I know it's a bit weird to get 2 encounters from the same area, but for monotype runs like this, I think it's more than fair game considering you're already limited to a very select pool of encounters, especially in Gen 1 when there's less than 150 Pokemon available before the Elite Four. But with them in hand, and finally having a real type advantage against a gym, I determined there was no reason not to just go in with Charmeleon at the cap, get the ability to use Fly outside of battle, and head back to Route 1 to top off stat experience for my 3 party members. So let's take her down. She leads Tangela as we're still stuck with Ember at level 32, two-shotting it as Constrict only does 2 points of damage, leveling up and learning Slash over Rage as Weepinbell enters second. Ember does less than half, but Acid doesn't really do much at all, letting me KO in 3 shots and do the same to Gloom but in 2 thanks to a critical hit, only taking Acids all throughout for rather pitiful damage, ending the fight and winning me the Rainbow Badge. Alright, and with 1 flight to Route 1 later, our team is more than ready for the Rocket Hideout. I'm keeping Vulpix unevolved here until level 35 as it learns Flamethrower at that level, and Ninetales wouldn't have access to that move otherwise. A bit unfortunate, but considering the level cap for both Koga and Sabrina is 50, and Koga uses all bug types, I see no need to worry about it. After having given third-degree burns to the criminal organization's underlings, Jesse and James decide that they need to handle it themselves. After all, from the wonderful words of Nacho Varga, criminals have no recourse, so I can inflict as much bodily harm to them as I want. They're no match though, as Dig takes out Coughing, Mega Punch pummels Meowth, and Dig rips through Ekans. So, actually I didn't even burn them, they just got hit really hard. Gonna keep them alive to obliterate later after all. But before Giovanni, I'm able to evolve Charmeleon into Charizard, giving it Fly Access, since thank God they changed the moveset from Red and Blue. I still can't believe it couldn't learn Fly in those games. I mean, for God's sakes, it has wings. I understand why Dodrio can't learn it. It doesn't have fucking wings. Also made sure to grab the Firestone for Vulpix, evolving into Ninetales and giving me more than enough firepower to take on Giovanni. So much so that Ninetales just straight up one-shots everything, taking out Onix, Rhyhorn, and Persian all with 1 flamethrower each. Alright then, well, on to Pokemon Tower, I guess. The rival is leveled as if you're supposed to fight him before taking on the Rocket Hideout in Celadon, but it literally makes no sense because you can't get to the top without the Sylph Scope, so why would you? So that makes this fight a breeze. Flareon leads here, and thanks to the power of the TM for Double Edge, I'm able to one-shot Fearow, Vulpix, Magnemite, Sandshrew, and Eevee after a quick attack, having more than enough HP for the recoil to win, and clearing out the rest of the area until Jesse and James come out to play once again. Flareon gets to be the resident sweeper again, as with Double Edge, it's able to take out Meowth in one shot, nearly one-shotting Ekans as Quick Attack cleans up, leaving just Weezing to fall to 2 Double Edges, only managing to connect with Tackle before going down. Feels like I'm finally getting into the groove here. Having more than 1 encounter actually makes for a much more fun run, and heck, why not add a 4th to the mix? After grabbing the bike from Cerulean City, I can head on over to the cycling road on Route 17, grabbing Ponyta. 4 out of 6 so far, and nothing's fallen yet, so I'm feeling pretty good. And with that, I guess it's time to top off our stat experience for Ponyta and Company, getting all the way to level 46 before heading into Silphco for the trio of important fights here. First up, the rival leading Sandslash as I lead Charizard, flamethrowing it into Oblivion as Magneton enters second, only to be dug 6 feet underground before connecting any super effective electric attacks. Third out is Ninetales, but since it's 9 levels lower, that's an easy dig target to one-shot. Fourth out is Kadabra, so it goes down to Slash, leaving just Vaporeon, and I figure with my level advantage, I should be fine to just slash this down, getting a crit on the first hit as Water Gun does under half with a crit, leaving Slash to get another crit next turn to KO and win me the battle. Second on the docket is Jesse and James once again, this time leading Weezing instead of ending with him as I go with Rapidash to try to get some battle time with it. I tried Fire Spin to lock it in place, but it misses multiple times. Thank you, 70% accurate move that's supposed to be Rap but Fire type. You are so useless. And thankfully, though, it doesn't really change much, as sure, Sludge is hit for a bit of damage, sure it gets the poisoning, I just go for Body Slam and 2-shot it with half HP remaining as Arbok enters the field. Thankfully, Body Slam just one-shots here, eliminating poison damage for the turn, as it does to Meowth, giving me the solo win. Huh. Well, Rapidash isn't too good yet without Flamethrower, though Body Slam is quite handy on this, glad I held on to it. Third and finally is Giovanni, leading Nidorino as I'm back into Charizard, using Dig for the one-shot as Persian comes in second and is burned to a crisp thanks to a critical flamethrower. Rhyhorn comes out third and manages to survive, only to eat a guard spec and another flamethrower to KO, leaving just Nidoqueen. Flamethrower is still king here, doing around 3/4 as he uses a tail whip. Good game, bud. Flamethrower ends it as I question why Game Freak never thought to give boss trainers custom movesets to make sure they were actually challenging. Who knew that RPGs needed challenging battles? I mean, surely they knew that. They must have played Dragon Quest III because I know where they got strength puzzles from. They stole it directly from that game. And if I may, you guys should buy the Dragon Quest 1 through 3 HD 2D remakes when they come out. Very much quintessential RPGs that I would recommend anybody. Complaints aside, we grab the Master Ball from Moltres and leave for Fuchsia City for the 5th gym battle against Koga. Or more like gym thrashing, as of course with a team of 3 Venonats and Venomoth, Ninetales is easily able to come in here, click Flamethrower 4 times, and one-shot each to win. Now before I head back to Saffron for the fight against Sabrina, Koga did give me access to surf outside a battle, so it only makes sense to head down to Cinnabar Island first to nab myself Growlithe from the Pokemon Mansion. I did not grab Growlithe from the Pokemon Mansion. Why? I am very dumb and stupid, and did I mention that I'm very dumb? 6th up after grabbing the HMs for Surf and Strength is Sabrina, and after getting the level cap of 50, I'm more than equipped for this fight, especially after grabbing the TM for Sword Stance from Silphco beforehand. Yeah, did you think we were escaping setup sweeps? Absolutely not. First up is Abra, so I'll just set up a Sword Stance in the face of Flash using Charizard. Missing, so I decide screw it. This thing can't hurt me. I'll go for a second one and simply swap out and back in case Flash lands. Thankfully, she just goes for Teleport, which does absolutely nothing. So, +4 Earthquake, also obtained from Silphco, ravages through Abra, Kadabra, and Alakazam, all with one-shots to end the fight quickly. Glad I got rid of Slash for that. After all, critical hits ignore stat boosts, so it ends up being a worse move in the long run when it comes to setup sweeps with Sword Stance. With the level cap increasing to 4, I'm more than happy to grab Growlithe now that I actually need to be in Cinnabar, getting the secret key before raising its stat experience to the max, all while grinding everybody to level 54 in the process, heading straight into the fight with Blaine afterwards. Alright folks, I'm gonna need you to leave the prediction in the comments below. Will Blaine use a useless super potion on a full HP Pokemon during this fight? I'll go ahead and give you a few seconds to type that down below. Alright, well, I think that time to predict was longer than the fight itself. As he leads Ninetales, I lead Charizard and just eat a few quick attacks as Sword Stance gets Sard up to +6 attack, Earthquaking Ninetales, Rapidash, and Arcanine to win the fight, with no super potions found here. If someone makes a difficulty hack for Yellow, by the way, someone's gotta change that text. Just that one line of text, nothing else in the game besides the difficulty, to say, you better have super potions instead of burn heals, because at least it would get me to laugh, because this freaking gym leader drives me insane because of how dumb his AI is. You know what? Maybe I deserve this. I refuse to play games like Radical Red or Emerald Kaizo because of the fact that I absolutely hate spreadsheets and calculators. If I have to pull one up for any of the games that I play, I just have all the fun sapped out of me immediately, and I immediately want to, off myself in Minecraft. So maybe just having to play the very easy games like this is punishment enough. Anyway, all that remains is Giovanni, and man, this one's probably just as worrisome as Brock and Misty. A Dugtrio lead isn't much of a problem, but the rock types on the team may be a little bit difficult, though I do have Sword Stance on Charizard, so it makes sense to just Earthquake them all. Yeah, f it, why not? Using a single Sword Stance in the face of Giovanni's best friend Guard Spec, using Earthquake to KO as Persian, Nidoqueen, Nidoking, and Rhydon all fall to one-shot Alright, Giovanni just had to mention his best friend Guard Spec again, right before Rhydon went down. He really likes that guy. And that's that. Earth Badge in hand, only 6 more required fights to go. After getting the party to level 60 just to overrun the final rival fight, I'm ready to go. Sandslash is his lead once again as I go with Charizard, running through it and Execute with Flamethrower once each, Earthquaking Magneton and Ninetales, Flying Kadabra, which barely survives thanks to a barrier, but no matter as Flamethrower puts him down, leaving just Vaporeon. From here, I do try for Sword Stance as he uses Haze, so I guess we're in a losing position until the AI decides to do something else, so I just go for it again in the face of Hydro Pump, taking over 100 damage as I go for Fly, seeing Haze once again, but it doesn't affect Charizard while in the air, letting me KO in one shot next turn to win the fight. I do wish that fight was just a little higher level though, like if he beat Giovanni he should be around level 56 or 57 with his Ace. But considering it's Vaporeon here, I can't be surprised about him beating Giovanni at level 53. That thing just kind of wrecks through that team with Hydro Pump, assuming it doesn't miss. Well, one victory road later though, and I'm at the Pokemon League, making sure to withdraw the Master Ball to go grab Moltres, bring it up to par with the rest of the team stat experience-wise, then bring everybody up to level 62, Edge to 63 for maximum advantage, and I should be good to go. First up is Lorelei, leading Dugong, so I go for Swords Dance, using 3 of them in the face of 3 Aurora Beams, taking around half damage before going for Flamethrower, which admittedly seems very dumb and doesn't one-shot, but I am trying to get the badge boost glitch here, and I do, but it's not like it did enough to KO, so it kind of doesn't matter, though she does go for Rest. So I'm free to hit Fly after 2 turns to KO, leading to Cloyster. Flamethrower once again is useful for tearing through paper-thin special defense, KOing Cloyster and letting me at Slowbro with Earthquake, and KOing that. Jinx is 4th, outed with Flamethrower, leaving just Lapras, and plus 6 Earthquake at 100 power is more than enough to take out Lapras in one shot, so we're clear for Bruno. Once again, we're on Charizard, using Earthquake for Onix and Fly for everything else, tearing through Onix, Hitmonchan, Hitmonlee, Onix number 2 after missing the range with Earthquake, because of course I did, and Machamp with a Fly and Flamethrower as he went for an X-Defend. Hooray! A useful X-item that the AI didn't fumble! I mean, he still died anyway, but Bruno making the smartest X-item use in the entire run is kind of funny in hindsight. Still dead though. Third up is Agatha, so I just tossed Charizard out once again, using Earthquake to one-shot Gengar, Flamethrower to two-shot Golbat following a Super Potion, then Earthquake on Haunter, Arbok, and Gengar number 2 to win. I forgot to mention how I didn't remember to grab my PP restoring items from my box. Next time, I won't forget my ethers and elixirs. Definitely not gonna forget those next time. Fortunately, Lance doesn't have anything affected by it, so I'm clear to lead Flareon against this Gyarados in order to pummel it to death with Double Edge, doing over half as Hydro Pump does well over half as well, leaving me on the tip of yellow borderline red HP as the second Double Edge KOs, leading to Dragonair. Now, both Dragonairs do end up falling to Hyper Beam, thank you Celadon Game Corner, letting me get to Aerodactyl 4th. I really don't have a clean out to this fellow, so I just opt to go into Arcanine to hopefully wall up and blast with Flamethrower, taking Wing Attack for 22 damage as Flamethrower looks to be a 3-shot, taking 2 more Wing Attacks in the process to be taken to around 75% before KOing and bringing out Dragonite last. Unfortunately for me though, I don't really have much in ammunition here. I opt to go for Takedown to bring Dragonite just above half, taking a Blizzard for around a quarter. Now this should be enough for a Hyper Beam to finish it off, considering how much damage Takedown did, and it's a range. Great. Well, at least the recharge turn is taken up by a Hyper Potion turn. I do end up taking a Hyper Beam of Lance's own, bringing Arcanine into the red as I swap into Rapidash on the recharge, blasting with Hyper Beam for over half as Thunder connects, doing less than a quarter as Hyper Beam brings me to 37.5%. Why am I being so exact? Well, because I can. It's very easily divisible. 75 out of 200 equals 37.5%. So there you go. Enjoy the fruits of my very, very unskilled labor. Regardless, I go for Hyper Beam one more time after the recharge turn, missing as he takes a recharge turn from his own Hyper Beam, letting me try once again and connect for the KO and the win. I definitely played risky there, but hey, we're only one fight away from winning, though going Deathless would be a miracle with fire types in Kanto, and heck, I haven't even used Moltres yet. But with that, our rival stands in the way, leading Sandslash as I lead Charizard, setting up 3 Swords Dances in the face of 2 Fury Swipes and a Slash, doing around a third as the Badge Boost glitch gives me more than enough power to KO with Flamethrower, then Alakazam Executor with Fly, Ninetales and Magneton with Earthquake, leaving just Vaporeon. Of course, we outspeed, going up with Fly, and dodging the haze, crashing down with +6 Stab Fly to put that Water Dog to shame. Maybe I should have used Acid Armor to survive. On second thought, never remind me of that copypasta again. But with that, I've successfully Nuzlocked Pokemon Yellow using only fire types. The only thing that was a little weird about this, of course, was having to change the starter, but this is completely doable on actual hardware if you have a Game Shark to change your starter with, so give it a try if you're curious. Or just emulate it, I'm not the police. Though I will give a pretty big shout out at the end here for the GB operator. This little device is perfect for backing up your own ROMs and save files of Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance games. So if you're worried about your save batteries going bad on your original Game Boy games or Pokemon in general, and you really want to maintain those memories, definitely make sure to grab one of those before changing those batteries, and you can transfer between, of course, emulation and actual hardware. So if you want to like speed up a section of grinding, so you go to the PC, you do that and then bring it back to the Game Boy and you're able to bring it portably, it's actually pretty nice. Plus, it means your ROM usage is on the up and up. Hey folks, Endcard Meatball here. Thanks for checking out the video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to subscribe and like, plus check out the other video on screen. You'll probably enjoy it too. And if you really enjoyed the content and want to help me produce more like this, make sure to become a channel member, leave a super thanks in the comments below, or grab some gamer subs using my affiliate link in the description using code ChaoticMeat at checkout for 10% off. And heck, maybe we'll get our own cup and flavor as a community in the future. Every little bit helps, and it keeps the lights on. Also, just want to give you guys a reminder that the Shiny Franchise Nuzlocke is still going on with the live streams, just been taking a little bit of a break to play some other games to help prevent burnout, but I still need your help with that timer, so come on by and enjoy yourself, contribute to the timer if you can, but I have a lot of fun interacting with you guys live, so it would be cool to see more of you folks pop in. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you next time.